What's up guys? In today's video I'm going to teach you and I'm going to show you something very useful in Python, which is using the function zip and the function enumerate. You are going to see that this is truly useful and you may want to use this in your own programs. So let's start. How do we use this and what is this? So for example, let's imagine that we have two lists and we want to iterate over those two lists at the same time. That would be a little bit complex because we would have to make a number, then well, the function zip does this in a better and simple way. So for example, if we use the function zip and we put here the two lists, then we can unpack the elements in these two things. So for example, we know that the first list just contains numbers and the second list contains names, so it contains strings. So we know that from the first list we are going to take the numbers and from the second list we are going to take the names. Also the thing is that it is not only for two lists, like you can use it for 3, 4, all the ones you want, and you would have to unpack it with the same number of arguments. So for example, here there are two lists and we unpacked it with 2 arguments. So let's execute this with the debugger so you see this in a better way, and you're going to see that it is very simple and very useful. So as we said, this list, the L1, contains just numbers and the L2 contains names, it contains strings. The thing is that we may want to create a list of tuples and create a dictionary. So the list of tuples would contain a tuple that has name and number, and the same happens with the dictionary. It contains name and number, and thanks to this, it is very simple to do it because we use the zip function. We obtain both of the elements at the same time, and for example here we say, okay, now in the new list, I want to append the tuple with the number and the name. And this is very useful. So for example, as you are seeing now, right now here, you can see that we appended the tuple 0 with the name. And here we have a new entry in the dictionary, which is the name and the value. So if we continue, you can see that we are iterating over the list and the dictionary, well, over the two lists at the same time. So for example, now we added Caroline 1, and you can see that the second element of the L1 is 1 and the second element of the L2 is Caroline. So the next one would be Susan and 2. So if we continue, let me continue, we can see that 2 Susan and here Susan and 2. That's very useful. So let's continue executing, and let me remove this. As you can see here, you can see the output and all that. So that's it. Another thing we can do is to use the function enumerate. Let's say that we want to iterate over a list of names. So for example, let's create the list of names. Let me go here. So so now we have this L2, which is a list of names, but we want to put these numbers because these numbers are only shown in the debugger. We don't have these numbers here. So how do we enumerate those? We have to use the function enumerate. So once you iterate over this, you will have two values, the current value of the list and the enumeration. So for example, this enumeration goes from 0 to the last element of the list. So for example, if you have 10 elements in the list, you would go from 0 to 9. So it is very useful. And if we continue, you can see that now. So now we see that I is equal to 0 and the name, let me look for the name, is Thomas. So now in the list enumerated, what I can do is to add that tuple with that. And again, if you wanted to use a dictionary instead of a list of tuples, you could do it. But I think that this is truly useful and this has helped me a lot in the university. So I think that you deserve to know this. So I think that was everything for this video. As you can see, later we have this list, this result. This tutorial is also in GitHub, so you can go there and check it. And if you enjoyed the video and you understood how to use the function enumerate and how to use the function zip, give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.
Hi.